Welcome everyone to the NASCAR 1-Up Retro Cup Series. This is round number 35 of 40. We're entering the home stretch of the season, and we're at the Pepsi Superdome here in New York City, and I'm alongside Ryan Caggiano for tonight's race. And let me just tell you this is one of the smallest tracks we're going to go to all season long. High banks, fast speeds, tight quarters. There's going to be a lot of carnage this race, a lot of attrition, a lot of action, a lot of high-speed contact. What do you think is going to be the biggest factors for who survives this race and who doesn't?
I think the biggest factor is how skilled of a driver you are at probably dodging and reading the lines more carefully than others. That's going to be the biggest impact of this race today, I reckon.
And qualifying taking place the other day, we can give you the full starting lineup for today's race. We have 8 playoff drivers starting in the top 10, with Justin Hutchinson and Nick Ortiz starting on the front row. The only outliers in the top 10 are Jacob Johnson making his first start in a long while, starting 4th, and Lane Sanders starting 8th. And looking back to the rest of the field, you see Chris Maley starting 16th, and a couple playoff drivers starting outside the top 30, them being the 30, the 3, and the 75. Other than that, we've got all the playoff contenders at the front of the field, which should make for some very interesting racing and some very interesting points contending throughout this entire race. And with that being said, the cars are lined up. We're ready to go to the green flag, and we can take you to the green flag as soon as the cars are lined up. This is 1-Up Retro Cup Series Racing live from the Superdome. With Justin Hutchinson and Nick Ortiz headlining the front row, they head into turns 3 and 4 of this very small high bank Pepsi Superdome, and we're ready to get this race started. It's round 35 of 40, 6 races to go in the race for the championship, and as they come off turn 4 and into the restart zone, the green flag is out, and we're underway at the Pepsi Superdome, and it looks like Justin Hutchinson's going to get the advantage going into turn 1 for the first time.
Yeah, it's all about trying to stay on the inside and then use the high banks at the end to try and shoot yourself out like a cannon. It's very fast, very quick, and hopefully we get some good racing.
With 15-second lap times, this race will go by in a hurry. As they come off of turn 2, you can see the stands are absolutely packed to the brim with fans excited to see racing action here in New York City. And with Justin Hutchinson leading the charge off of turn 4, he takes lap number 2. And we've already got trouble on the racetrack, and it's Eric Monaco involved, with Brandon Beal and Stephen Gale involved as well. Richard Herman looks like he got caught up in this mess as well. Tough way to start this race, but it's to be expected here in such close quarters racing.
Yeah, when you're so confined on a track like this, there's always bound to be a collision, and you just gotta pray that you don't hit the wrong way. And we can see from those tire marks, they got bumped in the wrong way.
And Arthur Xavier looks like he's got some damage as well, so it looks like at least 5 cars were involved in this to some degree. Gonna take a look at the replays here to find out what happened, but not the way any of these guys wanted to start their race at all.
No, absolutely not. Especially this early in the race, you want to try and keep a good, clean pressure on them.
So you see they're 3 wide, which is already a bad sign going into turn 1, because 3 wide racing on the short track is bound to cause some trouble. As, yep, there it is. Eric Monaco just got hooked by Stephen Gale, and then it just stacks up from there. Nowhere for these guys to go. So it was really only the 52 and the 83 that made contact. I'm pretty sure the 95's damage came from elsewhere. But tough way to start the race for Gale and for Monaco.
Yeah, I feel like these guys are experienced drivers now. They should know by now. Free ride on a track this small is asking for trouble, and you just saw it there.
No, that is well said. And as Arthur Xavier exits this very unique pit road that's situated underneath the grandstands, because of how narrow of a track this is, we can get ready for the restart, which should come up fairly soon, with Justin Hutchinson out front, with Nick Ortiz 2nd, J.D. Martin 3rd, Jacob Johnson 4th, and Alexa Lutchen rounding out your top 5. We'll take you to the restart as soon as it's ready to go. This is 1-Up Retro Cup Series Racing from the Pepsi Superdome, and we will be right back with the restart. You won't miss a thing. And with Justin Hutchinson now out front, Nick Ortiz 2nd, J.D. Martin, Jacob Johnson, Alexa Lutchen rounding out your top 5. Then it's Jared Polanski, Stephen Hunter, Lane Sanders, Bobo Jones, and Kevin Carter rounding out your top 10. Exactly how we started this race. And at lap number 8, going into lap 9, we're getting ready to restart this thing. You've got the call for this one. Take us through a lap around this track as we go green for the second time this evening.
The easiest way I would try to get as much speed as possible, try to separate from the pack, like as we see the number 8 trying to do. So low as you possibly can, and then try and bank off it as high you can after turn 2. And from there, just keep as much speed as possible.
We've already got some side-by-side action. Hunter and Polanski side-by-side, and now Lane Sanders is going to try and fight his way onto the bottom groove. And we've got plenty of side-by-side action through the field, with Fitzwater getting underneath Jones, Atkins getting underneath Carter. This is all for position, and each driver fighting their own battles here, trying to gain as much position as they can. You see Martinez is in the mix as well in the 77. The winner at the Charlotte Roval has had some good momentum the last few races.
Yeah, the 77's done very well. Even though he's not in the playoffs, he's done really good racing when he does show up, and it's always great to see him out here.
Yes, she has. And with that being said, they're coming up to lap Arthur Xavier in the 90, but he ducks on the pit road to get out of the way. Good, very good driving from him to avoid any dangerous contact. And Justin Hutchinson continues to lead after 13 laps have been completed. And with that being said, we've got Nick Ortiz and JD Martin starting to pull away, so the top 3 are starting to get a bit of a gap now on the rest of the field as they head into turns 1 and 2. We can take you off to our super high definition shot, and the lights go back out. You can see it in the background. The caution flag has come out for a second time, and it's Arthur Xavier once again with trouble early. This has not been Arthur Xavier's race so far, and it's only been 15 laps complete. Whoa, and they scatter to avoid the damaged car of Xavier there.
Yeah, not good. I think it must have been him trying to exit the pit road there. It's probably caught some cars out, especially it's a very unique system in this track, and they've got to be careful.
Exactly, and you'll see Arthur Xavier in the pit road. You won't be able to see him because the pit road is under the grandstand and behind the track, but Arthur Xavier is there trying to assess the damage to his car, and we'll take you to the replay of what happened as soon as we can. You can see this. The caution lights are very well designed around this racetrack, but we don't want to see him used too much, but it's a shame. But it's a part of racing, and everything happens for a reason, and we'll take you to a replay as soon as we can get one. So Arthur Xavier is going to exit the pits. I think you're right. I think he's going to get hit by the... Oh, yep, there he gets hit by Kevin Carter, and then Jeffrey Finguy just T-bones him in the door. And that looks like race-ending damage for both cars.
Yeah, I mean, that is, like I said before, that pit exit is a very dangerous little thing there. And I feel, and like I said, we saw him just got T-boned and nearly got flipped.
We are on board now with Jeffrey Finguy, and you see Xavier get hit and then just nowhere for Jeffrey Finguy to go. His horrendous season continues with severe crash damage suffered in this accident. He will be done for the day, and he will finish in the 41st position. Arthur Xavier will finish last. His race is over as well. So the 92 and 95 done for the day early on here at the Superdome. Tough break for these guys, but it's, like I said, it's just a part of racing. Anything can happen, as you see Kevin Carter going to assess some damage as well.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of, G-force on that T-bone there was so damaging. I feel so sorry for those two drivers, and hopefully both they are okay.
We'll get a report from the care center as soon as one is available to us, and the pit cycle, we expect them to be in about the midway point of this race, about lap 80 to 85. But as the pace car pulls off, we're going to get ready to restart this race, with Justin Hutchinson still out front, Nick Ortiz second, JD Martin, Jacob Johnson, and Alexa Lutchen running at the top 5 as usual, with Kevin Carter in his lap down position pulling up to assume his position. And as we come off turn 4, entering the restart zone, the green flag's back out, and we're once again underway here at the Superdome.
Yeah, now with that lap car underneath, now some cars are going to be a bit more cautious now, and we can see it already by the number 26 there.
Definitely, and it looks like Hutchinson's got a big gap this time on the field, as Got Ortiz and Martin pulling away as well once again, and it looks like they're 3 wide back there with the lapper. That's not a good position to be in, but by any means. As Polanski gets around Carter, and Alexa Lutchen looks like she's going to try and get around as well. It's going to be an interesting little battle here to see what happens. Alexa Lutchen goes wide, hits the... Oh! That is a nasty impact by the number 50 of Alexa Lutchen. Her race is certainly over, and I worry for her safety because that was a nasty impact directly into the pit entry wall.
That is a horrendous accident. If we thought the last one was bad, I think this was much, much worse.
Officials have to be wondering about whether or not this race should continue. We've had 3 caution flags, each worsening in degree. Officials have to be concerned about the running of this race. So you see Lutchen here getting on the outside of Fitzwater. She just runs wide, hits the wall, and then ouch! That is a nasty impact. You can see pieces off her car scattering there. That is a nasty impact right into... Even though those safety barrels are there, at such a high speed, those don't really mean very much. So you see in slow motion, she hits the wall, bounces off Fitzwater, and at this point is in no control of her car, and then just plows into the pit entry wall, and the impact of it bounces her back several yards. So her day is definitely over, and I'm not so sure if she hasn't gotten out of that car yet.
No, that's just a horrendous crash.
Right into the pit entry wall. Ouch. That is not how Alexa Lutchen wanted her day to end, for sure. I'm just concerned because they have yet to get her out of that car, and I would not be surprised if they have to get her out of that thing manually. This is on board with the 50. This is going to be a nasty impact, folks. Hold your breath for this one. Bounces off the wall, bounces off Fitzwater, and then just... That is the worst kind of impact. Head on into a narrow barrier like that. I have no words. This is like I said before. This is a part of racing, and it does happen. But we just gotta keep our fingers crossed that Alexa Lutchen is okay after that.
Yeah, exactly. And I would be feeling sorry for Fitzwater as well, because he would feel like he's caused this as well because of Alexa Lutchen bouncing off of Fitzwater. Fitzwater will feel like amount of guilt inside him.
This race is already showing its hand as a heavy attrition race, and with this race only 27 laps complete, we still have 98 laps to go. I'm not so sure about how this race will run through, but so far the lights are out on the pace car. We're about to go green once again, and we'll get an update from the care center as soon as we have one, but for right now we're about to get this race restarted once again for the 4th time.
Yeah, exactly, and now I feel like some cars will be thinking about, if there's another caution, my pit strategy could change a little bit and maybe be advantage for me. And I feel like some of the cars might be starting to think about that now, especially the front leaders.
With Hutchinson leading into the restart zone, the green flag is back out. We're underway once again on lap 28. Some very nasty impacts in this race, and we still got just under 100 laps to go. This is going to be a very long night here at the Superdome unless officials decide to step in here after this race, because this track, we underestimated how dangerous this track is completely.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love going super fast, especially on these tight turns. But I love driving on them, but it's all about the other drivers, and if you're not too careful and one thing leads to another, you never know.
Absolutely. And we look at Lane Sanders battling side by side with Caden Atkins. He gives up the spot for now. Jordan Presto has actually made his way up into the top 10 after starting deep in the field. He'll be happy about that as the field blasts by the start-finish line to start lap 31. And we've got more trouble, and it's Kyle Corbett this time. Hard impact for the 42, and his race is certainly over now on lap 31 of 125.
Yeah, I saw him do a little spin there. I feel like he must have had a really hard impact and bounced off something. And I'm just worried about what he bounced off of. That's the main issue.
And we'll, of course, get a replay of this incident when it becomes available as you see the cars filter on by. And Kyle Corbett is out of the race. It's a tough break for him. He has had trouble making races lately. And the one he does make here at the Superdome, his race ends early. So you see we've got 3 wide action here, and the 75 just gets him turned sideways, and then he just gets hit by Richard Herman, and he just goes up and over. So Kyle Corbett's race is over just like that. The 4th caution of the race already, and we have not had a green flag run of longer than, I believe, 6 laps. So this race is not going to be an easy one for these drivers to manage.
It ain't at all. And I feel sorry for the 56 and the 75 as well, because they would have gotten a bit of damage from them as well, and they might now have to assess that as well.
The aerodynamics at short tracks are not as big a factor here as they are at, say, the super speedways or the intermediates, where downforce is such a key factor. But it could be an issue nonetheless if a tire starts to rub, or if, for example, a fender caves in on a tire and it starts to rub, you could be sent to the pits early, or worse, blow a tire on the racetrack.
Yeah, especially with how fast the laps are, you don't want that here.
And with that being said, we're cycling around under caution yet again. We've got Justin Hutchinson out front. He's led every lap so far. Boy, if there was ever a day to start on pole, this would be it for Justin Hutchinson. He's still in command of this race. He's led all 33 laps so far, and he's been out in front of all the danger so far. Yeah,
which is, I don't know if it's smart driving or lucky, but I feel like luck is all that's needed right now, especially with how this track's been to us.
Yes, and you can see the caution lights still blaring in the distance, and we will, of course, take you to the restart as soon as it's ready to go. This is 1UP Retro Cup Series Racing, live from the Superdome. We'll be right back, folks. Stay tight.
I feel like as this race keeps on going, there's going to be more and more lap cars, and when that happens, there's going to be more and more incidents, and we can see right there, there's 5 lap cars.
It was Jacob Hammond, Richard Herman, and it looked like Brandon Beal in the 37 is the other one. Yes, he was. So those 5 cars are going to have to get out of the way quickly. I hate to say it because it kills good racing, but they might just have to go single file to try and survive as we take the restart on lap 37.
Yeah, I'd rather see more cars survive than be a demolition derby, but let's just hope it doesn't turn into that.
And Justin Hutchinson gets a whale of a restart as he jumps out ahead of Nick Ortiz and J.D. Martin in the 26 as they complete lap 37 under the yellow flag. And we've already got more trouble, and it's Stephen Gale riding the wall, and the caution flag's back out. Jacob Hammond's involved. Henry Thomas is done for the day. And Polanski, he was running 5th in this race. He's also been taken out of this one.
Yep, like I said before, the lap cars, they're going to affect this now as more and more come up, and we've just seen it how.
And just like that, more cars fall victim to this treacherous short track. And we'll, of course, get you a replay as soon as we've got one available. But, man, this race is taking a turn. Oh, so that's where it starts. You see Cal Farrell with some heavy damage as well. His race is certainly over in the 96. You can see the smoke trailing from the back of the Netflix Dodge. So his race is certainly over, and we'll try and find a replay. We apologize if the picture isn't the greatest. We're trying to find what happened because everything happened so quickly here at these short tracks. So this is where Farrell got his damage looking, and yep, Polanski gets hit by Sanders, it looks like, and Duke Anzac gets a piece. Jacob Hammond gets lifted off the ground. It looks like oh, yep, Hammond got sent up into Polanski, and Sanders just had nowhere to go. Farrell had nowhere to go. Henry Thomas certainly had nowhere to go, and Ethan Zanstra gets collected as well. Stephen Gale rides the wall just to be safe, as does Duke Anzac in the 3. So, honestly, it's kind of safe just to ride the wall and hold out for the caution flag that's inevitable at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately, I feel it's very upsetting, and there's going to be now a mix-up in the top there, but so many cars have been retired now, more than ever before.
We've had more cars DNF from races before. Think back to Pensacola and to Brooklands, but those races we expected for there to be high attrition. Those were both super speedways, and those are both prone to have the big one. But just the sheer number of incidents in this race and the places in which they're happening it's just got to be a big question mark as far as if we're going to come back to this track at all.
Yeah, because it's not about it's happening right at the back. It's happening everywhere, and that's the scary part. You can't be safe in this track.
I know, and this track was a late addition to the 1UP Retro Cup Series schedule, and I have a feeling that this will be the only time we come here, because our driver's safety is the most important factor here. We can have good racing all we want, but if your drivers are not safe while doing it, it's just a sign that you're not caring, and we do care about our drivers a lot. And as the lights go out on the pace car, we're gonna get ready to take the restart. We do care about our drivers a lot, and this track is just so unforgiving.
Yeah, exactly. How many lap cars are we going to have? And I feel like they should be going single file now just to survive.
We've got 5 more lap cars to deal with. As the pace car heads on the pit road, we're going to get ready to restart this thing with Justin Hutchinson out front, Nick Ortiz second, JD Martin, Jacob Johnson, and Zachary Fitzwater is your top 5 as we exit turn 4, heading into the restart zone once again. And the restart is underway. Justin Hutchinson takes the point for fastest lap, by the way, as of right now with a 14:89. But right now, our focus is just on surviving this race.
And I'm already seeing cars behind us getting free ride already, and I'm already looking at them like, oh no.
It's just in driver's nature. The caution's already back out, of course, but it's just in driver's nature. You see Christian Vargas getting involved in this one. Doesn't look as bad as the other accidents in this race, but still wasn't enough to bring out the yellow flag. And as I was saying earlier, it's just in your nature. You want to go fast. You want to race other drivers. But at some point, you just got to realize that there's a bigger picture here.
Yeah. Lives are more important than proper driving. And that is what that needs to be focused on here.
And with that being said, we've got a car on pit road, and it looks like it's Bobo Jones, one of our playoff contenders, in the pit lane right now, and he's just going to get some quick repairs done, and we will get to a replay of what happened in this accident, of course. Lane Sanders has not had a good day back in the bag. He started 8th, but he's not had a good day since. We'll get you a replay of what happened, of course, but this race is taking on a very, very familiar trend. So this is where Bobo Jones was. He got on the outside of Christian Vargas, I believe. We saw Vargas go around, so it's only a matter of where this whole thing started. Yep, right there. Nicky Martinez got hooked by Miles Mashburn and then just collected Jordan Presto, Christian Vargas, Chris Maley. I can't tell. There's just so many cars involved in this. It's hard to tell how many and who they are. But at this point, it's irrelevant because this track is just so risky. I'm not so sure. The officials are really taking a hard look at this if we need to, and if we need to focus on our drivers and not on this race as we're approaching the halfway distance very slowly.
Yeah, very slowly we're reaching the halfway mark, but I feel like I know the fans want to see the race. I do too. But it's a matter of how many accidents and injuries do we need to have before we care for the race. And this is what the committees need to weigh up.
And with that being said, 63 laps would be at a halfway point, and at which point we would have an official race. So we need to get to that point first, and right now it's looking like we've got a long way to go to get there. We've got about 13 laps left to get there, and I'm almost guaranteeing we're going to have another caution flag in that time. Lights are out on the pace car. We're getting ready for the restart once again. But man, oh man, this race has not gone the way these drivers... Even Justin Hutchinson leading this race, he's got to be thinking about the other drivers in this race. Even if he's going to win this race by a mile, it can't be easy.
Yeah, and I've just counted, Justin. I think I've counted 6 or 7 lap cars as well, which that will add to the carnage. Side
by side will not fare well here, especially with the attrition rate and with the speed of these cars. It's just not safe, and as we head back into the restart zone once again, Justin Hutchinson takes the restart, and once again he gets out to a big lead as Nick Ortiz tries to battle the lap car of Eric Monaco, but Monaco slides in line in the second in line, but Ortiz maintains second on the racetrack as they come off the corner to complete lap 51. We're going through the turns 1 and 2, and the caution, of course, is back out. And this time it's Wyatt Dooling that's backed up into the pit wall. Doesn't look as bad as before, so hopefully we'll be able to get this squirt cleaned up pretty quickly as the caution comes out once again. And oh my goodness, the leader, Justin Hutchinson, his race is done. He's been smashed up in this wreck, and so is Nick Ortiz, the second place car.
Now that's just caused a huge backlog, and now I feel like the council really needs to chat now, because this is getting way out of hand.
We need to get to halfway. We're still 10 laps away from that point. So the caution is not for Justin Hutchinson. He's slowing down to take the... Ooh, and it was Wyatt Dooling that was backed up into the pit wall, and Hutchinson just had nowhere to go. Eric Monaco gets a piece. Jacob Johnson gets a piece. Nicky Martinez, Nick Ortiz, Jared Polanski again. This has just not been a good day for any of these drivers, and I'm sure they'll be glad to get out of the Big Apple. So you see Wyatt Dooling is backed up against the pit wall. He's stuck there. He's got nowhere to go. And then as the leaders he tries to pull out at the worst possible time, because that's when all the leaders are coming, and then Hutchinson just gets plowed, Ortiz gets plowed. Half the field, honestly, gets plowed in this race, and I am very concerned about the outcome of this race. J.D. Martin has assumed the race lead. He will be your new leader. Look at that average speed. We've run so many laps under caution. We haven't even broken 60 miles per hour in an average speed. This race has just been an absolute chaotic disaster. And look at all the cars that are now out of this race. Lane Sanders is still going somehow, 5 laps down, but this race is becoming a disaster, and I really hope the officials start to take notice. We've got about 7 laps until we hit halfway, and I hope the officials do the right thing here.
Yeah, they really should, because this is now getting really serious. There's so many damage to the cars. There's so many injuries that have happened, not only to the playoff contenders, but to anyone here. We saw one guy get flipped. We saw another guy get T-boned. This is a very dangerous track.
And the lights are out on the pace car. We will be going green once again, and we're going to take the halfway point, hopefully under green, and we can finish the rest of this race under green. It's a lot to ask for, but I still have hope that we can get this race run. We've got J.D. Martin leading, Zachary Fitzwater second, Caden Atkins third, Stephen Hunter fourth, and the 30 has made his way up into 5th place despite starting at the tail end of the field. He's just done a really good job avoiding the accidents. Jeff Bolton 6th, Miles Mashburn 7th, Jack Halleck, Jordan Presto, and Chris Maley rounding out your top 10. As we head into the restart zone once again, Eric Monaco leads them to the green, but he is not your leader. That's J.D. Martin right behind him.
Yeah, I mean, great driving. Trying to keep, it's all about survival and keeping aware about the track. And that's what 26 has done so far, which is very good by him.
Staying out of trouble, that's the key to this racetrack. And he's just going to tuck in behind Eric Monaco. No need to pass him. And yep, there's another caution, as we've seen. And we're looking to see where it is on the racetrack. We're going to try and find it for you. And it looks like Lane Sanders, Jacob Johnson again. This has just not been a good day for anyone. Oh, and there's Lane Sanders into the pit entry wall on his side. That is not good by any means, but they got him out of that car very quickly. That's good news. So Lane Sanders had nothing to do with the initial caution. I assume it was for Jacob Johnson, but he just gets hit by a 69 Blair and then just tips into the pit entry wall. It's tipped on his side. That's not good, but he should avoid major injury. They got him out pretty quickly, and our medical team here at the track is very stout. So Lane Sanders exiting the pit lane. I just imagine if this is what happened for our first caution. I've lost count how many cautions we've had in this race, but Lane Sanders exits the pit lane and he just comes out right in the path of Jordan Presto up into the wall. Bobo Jones gets a piece, and Blair gets collected. Jacob Johnson gets collected, and then Lane Sanders he has no idea what's coming because Blair's trying to get to the pits quickly. She scrubs the wall, hits Sanders, and then just tips him into the barrels onto his side. That is just not how you want to end your race by any means.
No, it's definitely not. And I hope the committee makes the right decision here.
We'll check on the lap count. We are 1 lap away from half distance. So, I believe what they're going to do is, barring another yellow flag, we will run this thing out. But if another yellow flag comes out, they will make the decision based on that. It's going to be a tough call to make. This is unprecedented. We've never seen this before in the 1UP Retro Cup Series, but I only imagine it's a matter of time. Once they complete this lap, we'll be past halfway. So we'll have one more restart, and we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting too dangerous now, and we really need to look out for these drivers.
With JD Martin out in front of this race, barring another yellow flag, he will be a race winner if another yellow flag comes out. But he wouldn't care a dot about that. He wants to just get out of here and move on to Riki Raceway. With these drivers do so much for our sport, and this is doing them a great injustice by keeping them here at this racetrack. So we'll have one more restart. We'll see what happens. If the caution flag comes out, so be it. The officials will make the right decision, I'm sure. But we're getting ready for this next restart. It'll be interesting. We've got at least 10 lap cars now, so I can't imagine this is going to end any differently than the others.
No, it's usually 1 lap, 2 laps. Caution. 1 lap, 2 lap caution. It's like a little dance. And I'm not liking the dance.
JD Martin gets a swell restart ahead of Zachary Fitzwater. Caden Atkins clears the lap traffic as well. We've only got 24 cars left in this race, so it'd be crazy if we got another caution flag in this race, taking lap 65 and going to lap 66. So far, so good. I don't see anything too bad right now. So Martin leads, Fitzwater second, Atkins third. We haven't talked much about the racing because we've had so little of it. But Martin's continuing to lead. He's had a good car all day. He just hasn't had the chance to show it yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's really all been about the luck of the draw here in this track. And 26 got it with the great car and the great driver.
For what it's worth, this is probably the longest green flag run we've had all day, about 4 laps worth. And yep, there it is. Caution flag's back out, and this time it's Bobo Jones and Eric Monaco. I can't imagine they're going to continue this for much longer. And we're getting word from the tower. This race will end under caution at lap 72. It will not be restarted. And JD Martin is going to be a race winner, but not in a way that we wanted this race to end by any stretch.
No. When I heard this track was on the table, I was thinking Bristol, but in New York, and I was thinking, oh, this would be epic. And this has turned into the complete opposite.
We'll give you one last replay to see what happened. You see Bobo Jones side by side with Jeff Porkins. I think he's going to get hooked by Christian Vargas. That could be payback for what happened earlier in the race between those two. And Eric Monaco is just a victim, honestly. Nowhere to go for that. And the pace car splits the middle between them, and this race will not be completed. The fans have been notified of that, and as soon as we cross the line at lap 72, this race will be made official at that lap, and JD Martin will be your race winner. But he's not going to celebrate. No, the only thing he'll be celebrating is we will be leaving this track, and we will not be coming back.
Yeah, like, I love New York. I'm not going to diss New York. But this track is evil. There is something wrong with this track, and I feel like it's cursed. We should not be coming back here. But
and with that being said, we're gonna this will be the we're coming to the yellow and the checkers this time by. JD Martin will come off turn 4 for his second win of the season, but this one's the exact opposite of what he's felt at Canadian Tire, because they just want to get out of here, and as they come off turn 4 to see the checkered flag, JD Martin is your race winner, but no one's going to be celebrating. So from Ryan Caggiano and from myself, thank you so much for watching. As always, we'll see you at Riki Raceway. Keep Alexa Lutchin and all of these other drivers in your thoughts, folks. We'll see you at Riki Raceway.